Today, I'll tell you the story of a legend that transcends time, a tale whispered through the cosmos and buried deep within the ancient sands of Earth. It is a story of gods and mortals, betrayal and redemption, creation and destruction, a saga that will unravel the very fabric of what you believe about our origins. This is the first part of an epic journey into the life of Anu, the powerful king of the Anunnaki, and the hidden truths of their arrival on Earth. You'll discover their celestial empire, the mysterious planet Nibiru, their influence over humanity, and the secrets they left behind in civilizations like Sumer and even the fabled Atlantis. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about history, faith, and your place in the universe. In a corner where time does break, where whispers echo and dreams awake, the voice of the infinite takes its place, a portal to stories beyond time and space. Here, shadows speak, and myths arise, magic lingers, and truth belies. Dare you listen? Let fate entwine. This journey begins beyond the line. The voice of the infinite calls your name. Are you ready to play its game?
I am Anu, king of the Anunnaki, and this is the true story. The beginning of the rebellion in the vast and cold abyss of the cosmos, where stars rise as witnesses of countless eras. There is a planet that wanders in an elliptical orbit, tracing its path through the centuries. That world, which you call Nibiru, is my home. Since the dawn of time, the Anunnaki have ruled there, not as gods, but as beings forged by the need to survive in a hostile universe. Yet survival is never simple. Even among immortals, ambitions boil, and blood oaths can be broken with a dagger at dawn. My father, Lamu, was a strong king, though not without flaws. He ruled with a cold judgment tempered by the patience of centuries. Under his reign, Nibiru prospered for entire ages, but an invisible problem began to erode our civilization. The atmosphere of our planet, which shielded us from the fury of the void, weakened with every cycle. The sages claimed that only gold, a rare and powerful metal, could repair the shield that kept us alive. The problem was that Nibiru lacked it. While my father meditated on the fate of our world, a man rose from the shadows of the royal council, Alalu, a brave warrior, a skilled counselor, and a close friend of our family. Or so we believed. Alalu did not see the crisis as a problem to be solved, but as an opportunity to seize the power he so desperately desired. He fueled the fears of those dissatisfied with my father and convinced them that a change on the throne was the only solution to save Nibiru. On a dark night, as the moons of our world aligned on the horizon, Alalu executed his betrayal. He stormed the palace halls with his men and killed my father in his own throne chamber. Lamu fell in a pool of his own blood, his eyes open, staring at the stars he would never see again. When the news reached my ears, I felt my soul burn. But in politics and war, there is no space for grief. I gathered the loyal, soldiers, strategists, and nobles who still remembered honor. What followed was a civil war that tore Nibiru apart. Warships crossed the skies, and our cities, so beautiful and eternal, were ravaged by the fire of ambition.
Finally, I faced Alalu in a duel that would define our destiny. He was strong and consumed by a rage that made him dangerous. But I had something he did not: the weight of duty, the oath to my lineage, and the memory of my father. Our fight lasted hours, and though he wounded me repeatedly, I managed to claim victory. Alalu fell to his knees, bleeding, defeated. I did not kill him. Death would have been an easy escape. Instead, I exiled him, sending him into eternal banishment in an ancient ship, casting him into the abyss of the cosmos, the discovery of Earth. Years later, when the dust of the war settled, a message broke the silence. It came from Alalu. The traitor had found a world rich in gold, a blue and green planet on the edge of an unknown galaxy, Earth. The evidence he sent confirmed his discovery, and Nibiru's need was so great that despite my hatred for that man, I had to listen. But I would not risk letting Alalu become an unquestionable savior. I granted him pardon, but appointed my firstborn son, Enki, to lead the mission to Earth. Enki was a master of science and creation, someone who saw life as a puzzle that could always be solved. Enki and the origins of humanity.
When Enki, my firstborn, landed on Earth with his entourage of Anunnaki, the planet greeted them with vibrant indifference. Jungles rose imposingly, rivers roared with untamed strength, and the sky was alive with storms that made lightning dance like furious flames. It was a beautiful yet cruel world, a challenge that even our advanced technology could not easily tame. And amidst this ferocity, they found them. They were small, fragile, covered in hair, and their gazes alternated between fear and confusion. They were humans, or at least their ancestors. Homo erectus, Enki would later call them, creatures that walked upright but lacked the spark of understanding that defined a civilization. They lived like animals, hunting and gathering, whispering to the forest shadows, fearing fire and the night. At first, the Anunnaki observed them with indifference, almost disdain. What use could such a weak creature have? But Enki saw differently. Where others saw beasts, he saw possibilities. To him, they were a blank canvas, a promise of what could be shaped with patience, ingenuity, and audacity. That was when his experiment began. The laboratory of the gods Enki and his sister Ninhursag began working in secret. In hidden laboratories between mountains and valleys, surrounded by the echoes of a wild world, they used our advanced genetic technology to modify humans. They mixed their own traits with those of the primitive beings, altering their DNA to grant them greater intelligence, strength, and agility. But they also shaped them to be obedient, servile to the will of the Anunnaki. The creation of the first humans was a long and painful task, filled with failures and suffering. Some generations were deformed, others simply did not survive. But Enki did not relent. Creation, he believed, always required sacrifice. Finally, after countless failed attempts, the first man and woman were born, beings capable of understanding, reasoning, and learning. They had the gift of language, could follow instructions, build, and be trained to work in gold mines, cultivate the land, and respect the order the Anunnaki imposed. The gifts of the gods, technology, and wisdoms. Enki guided his new subjects. He offered them something they had never dreamed of, the knowledge of the stars. He taught them to read the skies, to predict the seasons, to understand the flow of time. He showed them how to make fire, forge tools, and build shelters. But Enki's gifts went beyond mere survival. He gave them architecture, teaching them to build with stones, bricks, and wood. In the fertile plains between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the first human cities began to rise: Eridu, Uruk, Lagash. It was Enki who taught them to construct great temples, to build pyramids that soared toward the heavens, reflections of the Anunnaki's will. These pyramids not only served to honor the gods, but also contained intricate mechanisms that channeled the planet's energy, an energy the Anunnaki used for their ships and machines. Worship born of ignorance. When the modified humans emerged from the shadows, they encountered something far greater than themselves: the Anunnaki. Enki and the other gods descended from the sky, towering over the humans. They were not just taller than men. They emanated an indescribable presence, a purity so overwhelming that the humans, upon seeing them, immediately prostrated themselves. Enki, in his generosity and wisdom, did not correct their errors. He accepted their worship, knowing that regardless of how false these myths were, the power granted by their followers would prove useful. While Enki never considered himself a god, he allowed the humans' adulation to solidify the Anunnaki's control over them, the legacy of the Anunnaki. Today, the cycle of time closes. Nibiru returns, bringing with it the echo of our story. I, Anu, reveal this truth not only to redeem my people, but to warn you. Humanity holds the power to transcend the legacy of its creators, or to fall into the same mistakes we made. Gold saved Nibiru, but the price was higher than we ever imagined. Remember, even gods can bleed. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with friends, let the adventure erupt. Subscribe to The Voice of Infinite, don't miss a beat, and hit the bell so the next story you'll meet. Thanks for watching and joining the ride. Stay tuned for more tales where mysteries reside. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive. We'll see you soon, where the infinite thrives.